Okay, this is Smokey McPot replay analysis at Diamond 2, Diamond 3 level. Before we get into this video, I'm going to take a look at ballchasing.com and show a little bit of what this is about. And you can kind of see how this analyzes the entire replay. You can see a recreation of it here and everything. Um, so we can see this was a Champ 1 and a Plat 3, apparently, playing against Guy at Diamond 3, and here's Smokey McPot at Diamond 2. This was 4-0 game for the blue team. Loss here from Smokey McPot. And here we can see some of the stats. So we have boost collected by team. You can see the blue team, enemy team, collected 56% to 44. See the breakdown by player. So Smokey McPot seemed to get more boost than Guy over here. The blue team seemed to be exactly even on the boost here, but on the orange team, Smokey McPot was able to get significantly more than Guy. And here we have some graphs for boost consumption per minute, so you can see how Smokey McPot was probably playing a faster game generally here. Using more boost here. Time with 0 boost. This guy, probably the Plat 3. Found a slower game for him, probably tougher because he had no boost here. So you can see that the Champ 1 guy was probably slurping up a lot of the boost. And then you can see, I'm not exactly sure what this is supposed to mean, to be honest, but big small pads amount distribution, the big small pads count distribution. So you can see the big pads versus small pads, and how much you go for the big pads versus the small pads. So just some interesting data here. If you'd like to check some of this out, useful stuff. But without further ado, let's get into this replay here. So it starts off pretty well here. This kickoff goes back towards your teammate, and he's able to keep control of it, which is nice. This hit right here could have been a little more powerful, I think. Guy was trying to bump you there. Let's look at this hit right here. So right here, I would have tried to get as much power as I could on it, maybe even try to snipe it towards the net. Your teammate is up farther too, so you can hit it sort of in between where he is in the net, and it'll be a good pass sometimes. Or even up there like that on the wall. So as we can see, he got the boost, and now he's able to kind of take this as a pass. It's a decent shot, but it wasn't very powerful. But at least it was on net. So right here, I think you're up a little far. But it's not a huge problem because there's not a whole lot of immediate danger here. There's only one guy back, it seems. Now here you got no boost rotating back. Oh yeah, this is just a huge choke on Guy's part here if we watch this. He had a really good opportunity here, bounces up the wall. Just a, super easy open net that he whiffed, so that really sucks, but obviously not your fault at all. Right here, it's another good example of rotating back instead of diving for risky challenges and stuff like that. So when you're in this situation, especially since Guy is all the way positioned up there, these guys are ahead of him essentially. They're going to be pushing farther. What you need to do is grab that side boost and rotate back onto defense, because if you go up like this guy's going to take it up, and since you're too far away from it, you're not really going to be able to you can see here, and from this angle, you're too far away from it, so there's no way you're really going to be able to get a good challenge on this, because he can put it anywhere off the wall, and it ends up going back to a position you can't really do anything about, right? So he has to scramble to get back, and you don't want to go diving out and putting him back on defense. But luckily it didn't turn into much. I think because this guy's a Champ 1 and the other guy's a Plat 3, probably weren't a whole lot of team play opportunities being made here. But right here is another interesting segment, so I think he did a good job here by going back. You might want to, in this situation, you might want to actually go back into net if you're going to go back. Either kind of, like, I think here you're a little half and half. So I think you'd probably want to either be in the net facing out. Director cam is always screwing me up on how many buttons I need to press. So right here, you're kind of not in the greatest position, so I think you'd rather be either in the net behind the line facing out, waiting for what's going to happen, or maybe up here trusting him to get a good hit on it. But right here, I think the smarter decision, which he made, was to go back. But here, you probably should have waited for this hit and stayed back just in case it went poorly. So right here, guy gets a bad 50-50, comes off the wall. And right here, he's farther ahead and you're the last one back. So this is another example of instead of going for a risky challenge like this, it would have been better to stay back and defend. Because right there, you get the risk of being beat, and then this guy comes in with no resistance, right? Because if guy here gets this bad 50-50, Steve, you know, I'm not gonna say that guy's name because it's stupid as fuck. But that guy can go up and beat you to the ball. So in this case, it's a little too risky to go up for if you're the last one back. And they can get a good shot on there. Blazed it in, as they say. This one starts off not too poorly. Right here you have the right idea by going behind him. But again, you can kind of see how you're positioning a little too... Where the hell? Positioning facing this way more and out in front of the net, when I would be behind the net waiting for whatever might arise here, because you probably can't trust this guy. He seems kind of not doing very well in this situation. So in this situation right here, if you're going to go behind him, I would wait in the net and wait for this hit, because if that went poorly, it could have gone towards the net and you would have been in front of the line and not in a good place to save it. But luckily it goes here. He gets a good hit on it right there. Got some pretty good positioning. You could be even a little farther to the forward and left, but his hit ends up not being very good, so it goes back to the other team. That's another one I wanted to look at. This is a good rotation here, but he looks like he kind of went a little ball chasey or something here, so you kind of had to avoid him and this other dude in order to hit it, and that kind of ended up giving it back to the other team. And this dude almost double touches in, so you got kind of lucky that he didn't hit that one in, but at Diamond 2, or I guess Champ 1 for that guy, can't always expect them to get those, I guess. But that probably should have been goal for them. And then this was another one right here. If we look at Guy's position, this is a good place to start an offensive push, as we saw earlier when you tried to challenge that guy who's doing this exact same thing. But see how that guy down there on the blue team doesn't go up the wall to challenge. He stays back. And in this case, Guy runs out of boost. And so in this situation, what he'd really want to do is try to hit it as hard as he can to clear it out, or try to hit it towards the goal or towards the middle or something to get a lot of power on it. But because he only has 3 boost here, he ends up just kind of flopping off of it. So in this situation, if you run out of boost, you should either try to back off of it, make it more obvious to the teammate that you're not going to be able to go and hit it hard, so that they don't push up too hard for you, trust you too much. And then you should probably, try to, if anything, just try to go down the wall and make it 50-50 with the guy below or something like that. Because this is obviously not going to get much. Even if he made connection with that, it wouldn't have gone anywhere good. So right here, watching this one back, it looked like it was open here until this guy comes in from the right that you couldn't see. So I think that was just the bigger issue there of probably, not going too aggressive for it. But I think in this case it's kind of hard because you wouldn't have seen that guy. But here you see that guy was in the middle and he just beat you to the ball. So I guess just being a little more aware of when there could be people there. This is another good one here. They try to do a fake kickoff, and see your hit made it go more to the left, so he couldn't get it back the other way to his teammate powerfully enough. And then you stole his boost right here, which is really good. So if that guy, it's not a very good pass, so he's probably going to try to pass it back. And so if this guy doesn't have boost, then he's not going to be able to do much. And sure enough, gets a really weak hit or something. Guy doesn't go for it there. So I think right here you read that pretty well. Because right here, he could have turned. So I think you probably, were looking to see if he'd go, and he turned away right here. So you realize, like, all right, I'm going to take this, control it, which was good. He lost the ball carry there. Not sure if you're going for one, but if you were, you could have tried to ball carry it and flick it or something. But either way, this is good to just at least keep control of it. You get a good demo here, you're getting the boost, getting a lot of power on it. This is really nice. He just hits a nice hit off the wall to clear it back. And here comes Guy with a pretty decent pass. And right here is another one I want to look at, because right here, it looks like it's open. Probably you can't see the guy on the left, but you kind of have to assume that there's going to be somebody there ready to save the ball going down that middle line. So right here, it looks like you tried to get a powerful shot into the net, but ended up at this angle not getting much. So I think from this angle, it's going to be really hard to get a good powerful shot that's at the proper placement and angle. That is, going to be hard to save, right? Anything that you could do would probably be weak and easy to save by whoever's in the middle. So I think instead of trying to go hard and like try to hit it as hard as you could there, you probably should have done is just like tap the brakes a little bit just to get the ball to move a little farther to the left so you have a better angle. So that like instead of being here on it, you could be, because right here you're hitting it this way. So if you tap the brakes and let the ball move this way a little bit, you'd be more like this angle. And now you could kind of slow it down a little bit. And this dude is way back in the backfield. This guy's a plat 3 apparently. Not sure if he's a smurf or what it is, but either way, you got a 1v1 opportunity here, and he's in a kind of a tight spot, so you might be able to pop it up, try to, air dribble it if you can, pop it up, get in a second hit on it, flick it, anything you can do to 1v1 this guy who's in this bad situation, right? But instead, got kind of weak, so it was easy for him to save. So that could have been an opportunity to score. And then right here, there's kind of a wild 50-50 here from this guy. So it ended up going back out behind you. And this was a really good decision here to just kind of keep control of this ball. Right there, you took it up the wall, which is making it a little difficult and kind of awkward. So that's why you ended up losing the ball there. But it's not too bad because at least, you bought enough time for Guy to get back into the net. So now you have a good opportunity to move forward. So here he's trying to push. He gets a good demo here. Right there could have been a good opportunity to score if you hit that onto the net, but those angles are tough, especially with that guy in the net. You'd have to hit it pretty hard, and you just have to get the right angle on it. So that could have been one opportunity, at least. Right here, I think in this situation, I would have either left this ball or at the very least try to tap it just a little bit to pass it back to the teammate. Because you can see here how he rotated up. You couldn't really see it from your point of view, which is probably why you went for it. But obviously, what he's going to be doing is rotating around, and so you need to get behind him and rotate, So right here, you kind of just messed him up on the rotation. So I would have either just like completely avoided it by going up the wall, or just, somehow left it so that he would know to go for it and that you weren't going to do it. Because right here, you just kind of confused him and then popped it up. I think he did kind of the right thing by just backing off to see what's going on. But, so yeah, right here, I would have just left that. But at least you saw that, okay, that was probably a bad thing, and you at least try to keep control, get a hit or something. And it kind of got behind these two guys. And right here, could have potentially be a shot opportunity, but you didn't have any boost. And the guy had some good control on it, and this angle's kind of tough to get with the way it was going, so not really much you could do about that. So good choice in going for the boost there. Guy might have been able to score that. I don't know. I guess not. It was good defense by Blue there. And here you try to get another opportunity going. And they kind of passed it out to you. So right here, if you had reacted a little bit quicker, you might have been able to get up and get the right angle on it. But it was a little fast, so you end up hitting it up to the corner, which is not bad. But see, at least you kept good control on it, let it bounce, and gave him a good shot opportunity. And it was a good shot. but they had a good opportunity to save it, so it's some good defense there. And let's see how this goes. It's good offensive pressure, I think, generally, right there. Right here, this looks a little confusing for you, because you kind of have to see what he's going to do. But I think the positioning is generally pretty good, because you didn't really know what was going to happen. So you kind of you could have played a little farther to the left and forward, maybe a little bit, to kind of play in between defense and like forward. But you played it a little safer on the defensive side. And you could have been a little more left here, but either way, it worked out well. Because see, now you're at least in a decent position for when it goes kind of awry. He misses this ball here. Recognize that you have a good opportunity here to get this ball before the blue guy comes in. Right here, I think that's a missed opportunity there. You want to make more of your touches than this because the way you hit it was too hard and out. So I would have you had enough boost, so you wouldn't really need to take it slow, grab the boost, go up the wall, and do it that way. I would have tried to come at it from the left maybe and hit it really hard towards the net. Just try to slam it, I think, is usually the best in this case. Somehow I lost audio on this. Not sure how that happened, but now it's back. So, yeah, I think that was kind of a missed opportunity. And then there you got demoed, which actually helped because now you'd be back and get boost. So see, boom, you got teleported to the right position. Let's see. A little eager on that, but it's okay because this guy had enough control. He got demoed here. So now you need to push up and try to get some kind of a play on this. Ooh, yeah, and then right there. Big opportunity. Really bad hit from him. Open net. Just choked it. Gotta hit those angles there. And guy looks like had a chance probably to shoot it here, but he was worried about this guy challenging, so he hit it up high, and then the other guy took it away. So there's one that definitely should have been in, and one that was an okay opportunity. Ooh, yeah, right there. See, he's not really in the greatest position, and he looks like he's probably going to be eager to go up for it again, or keep going on it. So right here, when I see him land like this, I'd probably just try to turn to the left and just watch what he's going to do, because that guy, the blue guy down there, is going to be moving back. So right here, you just kind of were a little too eager, I think, and went up for the ball. Probably confused him a little bit, and then just ended up getting a bad hit and sending it back towards the net, which wasn't great. But he did well enough to keep control of it. Try to push it out. There's a good opportunity. That was really good play, actually. This guy hits it at you. I would have either done exactly what you did, pass it to him, or try to slam it right here towards the net. Because if you can hit it hard enough and with a good placement, you could probably get it in before that guy can save it. This is also a really good hit here. Because now it passed straight to this guy. Beautiful pass, but he could just whip around and slam that into the net if he reacted quick enough to it. But he missed it, so that's kind of unfortunate. And then right there was just a bad turn. You turned the wrong way here. So right here, it went off the sidewall, and you went to kind of challenge it, but you should respect that this guy's going to hit the ball again. Especially since guy's out forward, you need to, instead of turning right to challenge and dive into a risky situation, you need to turn left. Go for the safer kind of play instead. Err on the side of caution. Because right there, you turn right, and you end up getting beat, and then, there's nobody back. The guy's not going to be able to get back. Oh, that's cool. Rocket League crashed. So, while I'm launching Rocket League again, basically, as we've seen with a couple of those scenarios, including that one, the main tenet for that I always try to preach anyways, is that a lot of times what you need to do, especially with your solo queue teammates, people you're not exactly sure about, is try to always err on the side of caution. Instead of diving for risky plays, you're more likely better off going for the safer stuff. So right here, instead of diving for a risky challenge and putting yourself out of the play, if you turn back there, you would have been able to play it safe more and keep control of the ball and play better defense so that you don't get scored on. Because priority number one is always going to be defense, right? Because if they can't score, then they can't win. So if you have good enough defense to stop their attacks, that was pretty solid there. If you have good enough defense to stop their attacks, then they're not going to be able to get enough points on the board. And if you hit the opportunities, like mentioned a couple, at least two easy ones so far that should have been in. If you hit your opportunities and just be consistent with them, say you hit those two open nets, that guy hit his, you hit yours. And if you maybe saved two of those balls by turning back instead of going forward, then it would have been 2-1 and you would have won. So sometimes that can make the difference in the game. So a lot of times, I guess, instead of sometimes, it's better to play it safer instead of diving for risky stuff. And right here, it's 30 seconds left with 3-0, so you're probably not going to be able to bring this back. I think right there, you just kind of pushed up a little too far, maybe trusting him a lot. And here he is getting a bad challenge, and you get scrubbed by this guy. And I'm sure the rest is pretty self-explanatory. But yeah, basically, I think that's just generally what you want to do. I don't mean to say that you want to play more passive all the time in your gameplay, but twos is always about trying to find that fine line between offense and defense. You know, you want to position yourself in between the forward offensive position and the back defensive position. In threes, it's different because you can have two different players for each of those. Have two different players for each of those positions, but in twos you kind of have to play both of them as that second man. So I think this is just a good way to look at a couple of things that you could have done. Most of the time when you lose instead of winning, it's because you didn't make enough of the opportunities you were given, and you and you also didn't do a good enough job on defense in order to stop most of the goals. So instead of trying to be aggressive and get a goal, trying to dive for something that's a little more risky, almost always turning back and making 100% sure that you don't get scored on is going to be better. It's going to play out better for you in the long run, so that you don't dig yourself a hole with like 4 goals down and you have to try to come back in the end, you know. So that's why I usually try to focus on defense first, make sure that, if this, just assess the situation, look at, is this a little too risky for me to dive for? Because I don't want to put myself out of the play. So a lot of times I'll turn back. Sometimes that can lead to you being a little too passive, so you don't want to focus too much on being passive in your gameplay. You want to make sure you're there, you're aggressive, you're saddling that line. Um, but yeah, generally you just want to focus on defense first and power and placement. So those are the two main tenets that I've come up with recently. Defense first. Always make sure not getting scored on is your highest priority instead of diving for something risky to be aggressive and pressure. And then power and placement is just about making the best of your shots. So making sure you hit them powerfully, and make sure you put them in the right place. And that's all you really need to do. And just focusing on working the best with your teammate, especially if you solo queue like this, makes all the difference. Hope it helps.